Welcome to the Pro Nation's Lambo and Mass for the Sports Featuring Sideline Sports Network. Like I said, if you need your merch, this hat right here, you go to TotemPoleNation.com. You need this shirt right here as well, this nice short sleeve shirt, Totem Pole. We are the low man on the Totem Pole. As always, you can go get the TotemPoleNation.com to get all your merch. Reading into the NFL Week 13 preview and also the Frank Reich being fired by the Panthers earlier this week after starting off the season 1-10. How would the direction that Carolina Panthers go? And as far as the Week 13 games, is there a possibility that Bill Belichick at the end of the season will go to the Carolina Panthers? I will let you know what happens next and what goes on. But without further ado, let's get to it. All right, first game we got to get into the Patriots versus the Chargers. All right, Patriots versus the Chargers. It probably would not be a game to must watch or whatever it is, obviously. But it gets to a point in time where both teams do suck, obviously, which is, it is what it is at this point in time. So I'm going to go with the Chargers. This is the first time that I'm going to go against my team this year. I'm going with the Chargers. I'm not confident in these Patriots, especially with, we're not sure if we're going to start Mac Jones. We're not sure if we're going to Bailey Zappi. We just can't do anything. We find ways to lose games. This is the first time in America that I'm going to go against my team this year. I'm going with the Chargers. Obviously, the Chargers defense has not folded, obviously. It has not done great and well at all. But the Patriots hadn't played any better than the Chargers. So it's not really too much discussing this game. Hopefully the defense will make it a game, but I know it's going to come down to Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi making the correct plays, and that won't happen. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Chargers to win this game. Next game, we'll take the Cardinals versus the Steelers, obviously. The Steelers can move the ball. They fired Matt Canada, obviously, but I don't think Kenny Pickett has ever been the answer. All right? That's the only problem, and that's the only issue. Now, you got Kyler Murray that is coming back into question, but you got Calvin Austin that is on questionable, as well as so is Deontay Johnson, both questionable. In this game, I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers just defensively. I like the Steelers defensively. The defense has found ways to win games, obviously. When it comes to the Arizona Cardinals, they are tanking. Kyler Murray just came back. They're going to be competitive, but I just don't see how in the world the Arizona Cardinals go into the Steelers Stadium and find a way to win. I just don't see it. I think the Steelers offense is able to move the ball. They had over 400 yards for the first time in forever. So I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers here. Now, next game, we're going to go with the Colts versus the Titans. This thing could go near. Now, with the loss of Anthony Richardson, the Colts are still 6-5. They have a winning record. The Titans have shifted to Will Levis, obviously. Will Levis will be starting the rest of the year, obviously. I'm just not sure how good the Titans will be when they move the ball offensively, because that just hurts to a core and it hurts to the minute of the limit. In this game, I'm going to take the Indianapolis Colts to win. I am more confident in that run game. I know Jonathan Taylor has not been getting that much carries, obviously, but Zach Moss has been getting a good amount of carries. He's already rushed for almost 675 yards rushing. The Colts find ways to win games. Their defense is still a little bit suspect, but I'm not confident in the Tennessee Titans offense. If you don't get Derrick Henry going in the running game, you don't get DeAndre Hopkins the ball as much. They don't have a lot of good receiver core. Will Levis is still learning a new system midway through the season. I'm going to go ahead and take the Indianapolis Colts to win this game. Next game, I'm going to take the Lions versus the Saints. Lord, I'm not sure if the Lions are just exposed on national television or how good the Saints actually are. The Saints lost to Atlanta Falcons, which is not good. C.J. Gardner-Johnson for the Lions is basically placed on IR. It's not good. Also, Hendon Hooker, their quarterback, is placed on NFI IR as well. Obviously, I guess he's just not available to play or whatnot. So in this game, I'm going to go ahead and take the Lions to win this game. I'm just not confident in the Saints offense. I'm not sure if Pete Carmichael will someone get fired by the end of the season, but the Saints offense has been off and on, especially with the injuries. Derek Carr has been playing hurt. 1 week, Derek Carr had a concussion and was kicked out the game, especially against the Vikings 2 weeks back. Jameis Winston's very inconsistent when it comes to the quarterback role. Taysom Hill, he does play some quarterback and some tight end. I'm just not confident when it comes to the Saints because the Saints gave you a chance to win and they gave you a chance to lose. In this game, I'm going to take the Lions. I think the Lions will bounce back after that embarrassing Thanksgiving loss on national television at home against the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to go ahead and take the Lions. Now, in this game, the Falcons versus the Jets. Well, I don't know who in the world the quarterback's name is. I can't remember because they both suck. I'm taking the Atlanta Falcons. I'm not confident in the Jets when it comes to their starting quarterbacks. And Tim Boyle, Zach Wilson, whoever you want to call it. I'm not confident on damn Tim Boyle. Now, I understand that the Falcons, I think they're going back to Desmond Ridder this week. But Aaron Rodgers is placed on IR as well. But Aaron Rodgers has been cleared to practice. So he has I think he has about a 21-day window that he will be able to practice. I'm just not sure if you want to risk playing this year. Now, I know I did predict he may come back sometime in week 15 or week 16 maybe. I might say that in a different video. But you don't want to risk an injury for what? The Jets are 4-7. They're out of playoff contention. There's no way they're fighting into the playoffs, obviously. I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons. But for the Aaron Rodgers news, I get that he's trying to make a miracle and a comeback, and I respect that. But I just feel like it's a dumb decision at some point in time. It's just don't come back. Don't wait till next year. Don't come back. There's no way that the Jets are going to somewhat, make the playoffs and whatnot. I just don't see it at all. But other than that, I mean, I don't know what to pretty much tell you in this game. The next game, you got the Dolphins versus the Commanders. The Dolphins versus the Commanders will be something. Obviously, the Commanders have been struggling. The Dolphins can only beat teams that are under 500. I'm going to go ahead and take the Dolphins. I'm not confident in the Commanders. Eric Bieniemy is in the new offense. I get it. Sam Howell has turned the ball over a lot in a lot of case scenarios. It doesn't make sense to me when it comes to that point in time. Not only that when it comes to that point in time, it's just that the Ron Rivera situation, I think Ron Rivera will get fired at the end of the season. He will not be getting fired right now. He will get fired towards the end of the season. I'm not sure if Eric Bieniemy will be the next head coach, the next head coach candidate for Washington. But Washington's at 4-8, so I don't see them improving. They also fired Jack Del Rio last week as well, so they've made some changes defensively as well. So we'll see if that solves any problems. I'm not sure if it does, but other than that, I'm going to go ahead and take the Dolphins to win that game. The last game I'm going to get into is the Carolina Panthers versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They fired their coach. I'm going to go ahead and take Tampa. Now, I understand that Tampa Bay does not have a run game at all. Bryce Young has thrown 8 interceptions as a rookie, obviously, but they don't. The Bucs don't have a run game, and that really concerns when you don't have a run game. So Chris Godwin is questionable. Levante David is questionable. Also with the Panthers, Tommy Tremble is questionable. Xavier Woods is trembling. Jonathan Mingo is as well, along with Hayden Hurst. In this game, I'm gonna go ahead and take the Bucs. I just don't know what the direction of the Carolina Panthers is. They did fire Frank Reich 11 games into the season, started out the season 1-10. David Temper probably needs to fire himself because I don't know what decision he's making as a coach. As an owner, obviously, for the Carolina Panthers, it's just very, very tough for me to really, really predict this. There's rumors saying that David Temper wants Bill Belichick. I don't see that happening at all. I mean, you have to put in some draft picks in order to get Bill Belichick. I think Bill Belichick will be part of the Patriots next year. But when it goes forward to the Carolina Panthers, obviously, I think they should stick with Bryce Young. I just didn't like the way what David Temper said in the press conference. Basically, when it came down to where they're confident with the pick. Should they took C.J. Stroud or should they took Bryce Young? They said they had no regrets in making that pick. I think there's some regrets involved in that because obviously C.J. Stroud was a better quarterback coming out than Bryce Young. Now, I get it. There hadn't been a lot of Ohio State quarterbacks in the NFL that have been very successful, obviously, except, Joe Burrow. He was from Ohio State to, LSU, obviously a transfer. But, I mean, mistakes are made. It's whether they want to admit they made a mistake or not. I don't know if they made much of a mistake. I just think the Carolina Panthers offensive line and what Bryce Young has been put through, just the offensive line was just not good. Not good offensive line. You have Adam Thielen, who's way past his prime. He's not the same wide receiver as he was with the Minnesota Vikings. So obviously, I'm gonna take the Bucs and win this game. But when it comes to the Panthers and Frank Reich, you're firing a coach 11 games into the year. They weren't getting any better. They were changing play calling duties, obviously. I don't know what to tell you. But for the Carolina Panthers going forward, they do have a top 5 pick, obviously, this year, obviously. But we'll see how this goes. I don't know who the next head coaching candidate will be, but it's not going to be Bill Belichick. Okay, that's just a dream. That's just a fantasy. It's not going to be Bill Belichick as the next head coach of the Carolina Panthers. But I think I recapped all the games. I make sure I didn't miss nothing. No, I didn't miss nothing. So I want to make sure, yep, I got everything, all the games. So this is it for Lambo Match for the Sports. We'll be back next week for more coverage of all sports, plus the recruiting trail, obviously, every single week. Like I said, we need your merch. You go to totempolenation.com for your merch. Thank you, Salah Sports, for giving us a platform. And also do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Totem Pole Nation. But this is it for Lambo Match for the Sports. We recapped all Week 13 games, obviously, and the Frank Reich situation. Obviously, there's a possibility for Frank Reich that he might join Nick Sirianni's staff with the Eagles, just the connection they had back then with the Colts, obviously, before he got the head coaching job. So we'll see how that goes along the lines. But this is it for Lambo Match for the Sports. We will catch you on Monday. Y'all have a great week.